All right, we back from a break. R.P.G. The rugged prophetic ghost of alienation. We live in this world, we not of this world. This is change your damn 3D perspective radio. All right. So, and I told you what damn stand for. 3D stands for we three-dimensional beings. So you got to have change your physical perspective, your spiritual and mental perspective, and your financial perspective. And when you deal with this radio station, all three of those are going to be made whole. And then you are a whole being. If you not whole physically, if you're not whole mentally and spiritually, and if you're not whole financially, your development is incomplete. So we got to keep working. That's why I show up every day. And I'm going to do more programming because I've always believed in my outreach and my ministries and my empowerment that you can't ask somebody to give up something without replacing it with something better. I can't ask my brothers in the streets to get off the corner until I give them a legal way to feed their families and a positive source of income. It's not reality. If the only way he is feeding his family is by hustling on a street corner, it's no way in the world. I got enough power and enough resources because I am connected with the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords that I could come and replace the negative with the positive and then challenging to go and sin no more. That's the blueprint. Mary Magdalene. He eliminated the threat. Neither do I condemn you. Now, set the bar. He cast out 7 demons out of her. He put the work in. The word says 7 demons was exorcised from her that day. Then he set the bar. After he cast the demons out, go sin no more. Y'all want to sit back in judgment of these cats. They da 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 da. And especially the Europeans who created the whole situation that you're in. They playing you. They created this whole situation. They done sent their kids to school to maintain the systems of slavery by another name, to keep the chains in place. And then they sit on the high horse. Look at them. I can't believe they so da 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 da. They animals. They da 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 da. Okay, they playing you. And all we do is we come and we show you, son, you are the original. You are the one who God gave dominion to. And we've been saving their children. That's the only reason why I'm able to say it, because now the Gentiles is banging because we done got the word to them. The job is finished. It's a wrap. We about to go home. Babylon's back has been crushed because we just went through what we went through trying to deliver the handoff. It's Game of Thrones. All right? It's a Game of Thrones. It's pretty much like football, man. It's a football game. It was a football game. The enemy, the adversary had his team, and he wanted his children to be in darkness. And all we do is we come and we steal. We've been demolishing this football team. Not that fairy tale football, not that soccer football. This real, man, United States of America football, Game of Thrones football. All right, we still they best athletes, they best cheerleaders, and we put them on our team. That's all it's about. The adversary couldn't even have Cain's children. That's what God was saying. Go get Cain's children. He can't even have them. Now, Cain choose him, fine. Some of them might choose him, but go and get my Gentile children and steal them and take them from sons and daughters of Cain to sons and daughters of God through being grafted in through the Gentiles. That's what we do. All right? So, they have everything that God does. All the enemy been doing is biting. All right? Biting. And I want y'all to really, really understand that what is in the White House right now, Donald Trump and Mike Pence, and what has always been Washington, D.C., was just an implant of Europe, a cancerous implant of Europe. God carved our sovereign nation out and separate and apart from that trash that was happening over there. And Europe was dying to reel this sovereign, set apart nation back into the Dark Ages. And they pretty much have succeeded, except for us who've been awake the whole time, who have been fighting and rescuing their children and our children from day one. And I'm gonna show you what this is the train that they got you on. Mystery Babylon. This is Europe. This is Europe for you. And this is Congress. And listen, man, it's a whole lot of African American Europeans. Pan-African Europeans. Your senators and your congressmen, they all down with this system. This the train that they got you on. This thing Underground Railroad. They got a Catholic priest blessing this whole satanic nonsense. You got Italy and Germany there, of course, fascists. Satanic. The lamb, sacrifice the lamb. They declare Lucifer has not been defeated by Jesus. They zombie soldiers. The whole world lies under the sway. They're letting you know who their deity is, who they serve. This is the inauguration of the Underground Railroad. These are demonic creatures. A Baphomet parade. You know, Baphomet is Satan, who they worship in Freemasonry and all of the occult. There he is. The goat of Mendez, which is Satan himself. A blood sacrifice. They're doing a blood sacrifice right here of everyday folk, with the Pope is in control. They telling you straight up. People being rounded up and taken to FEMA camps. The Pope, there go the Pope. Yep, Francis. A beheading. Made the people bow. Yo, I wish I was making this up. This is the train ride y'all on. This is the train ride y'all on. And then these people come and they leading y'all churches, blood flowing from the severed head. This is a ceremony and a dedication for them opening their train. Unbelievable. And so then let me show y'all the train ride that you on in real life. So those are the people that rule the world in the first train ride. Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots. And they got 2/3 of the globe living like this. Slum dogs. But we've mastered the process of going from slum dogs to kings of Havilah, Havillionaires. 2/3 of the globe. And they got 2/3 of the United States of America looking just like this. That's what Trump's job is. United States of America. This is their plan for your children. This is the train ride that they want United States of America to match the rest of the world that they've colonialized. They want all of the resources to be out of reach for the everyday folk, just like it is for the rest of the world. This the train ride you on. But God said in Revelation 18, pay the whore back double for what she has done. It's payback time. He also said in Revelation 18, he sent the angel out with the millstone and tied the millstone around the neck of Babylon and threw it in the depths of the sea. And Jesus Christ himself said when he had the little child in front of him, woe to any man who causes one of these little ones who believe in me to go astray. It will be better if they tied a millstone around their neck and was thrown in the depths of the sea. Donald Trump, Mike Pence, their whole administration, the whole President Nixon, President Ronald Reagan, President George H. Bush, President George W. Bush, president after president, FDR, President Woodrow Wilson. All of these presidents have created this inequality gap, this train ride for the United States of America. It's been a process. They've been exporting your resources, exporting your American dream. It's time to make them pay. Because we got another train ride. We got another train ride. The same train ride that Elijah took. That's right, the Iron Chariot. The third rail, Iron Chariot. Train ride. We got tickets to get on the Iron Chariot. It's the third rail. But you see how the boys fell off the train? The cats in this Babylonian system, you can't get on this train ride. You know what happens when you fall down on the third rail? Electrocuted. Fire. That's what he said. Burn Babylon. So we throwing mama from the train. That's right. It's time to get y'all tickets now for the Iron Chariot. You know, the Elijah, Elijah, God sent the train to Elijah after Elijah challenged Ahab and Jezebel at Mount Carmel and challenged all of the people of God. Choose this day, right now, who you will serve. If God be God, serve God. If these pagan gods of Donald Trump and Mike Pence and the Vatican, Pope Francis, and all of your Christian denominations, everyone, including Seventh-day Adventists, you are not excluded. Your hands have just as much blood on them. Seventh-day Adventist Inc. I'm talking about the corporate body of Seventh-day Adventists. Your president meeting with Kim Jong-un of the UN, working directly hand in hand with Pope Francis. Since 1888, you had your hands dirty. Since 1888, the General Conference of 1888 had your hands dirty. Just as dirty as the rest of these slave owners. Since 1888. There is no denomination that is excluded. Every denomination has been sleeping with the enemy, the beast in Rome, in the Vatican, in the United States of America since 1871. And that is why that's why hundreds of millions of people are impoverished, because now they've imported the Dark Ages to the United States of America, and we never ever were meant to be anything other than a storehouse and a blessing and a resource to the whole globe. But because they've sent the European administration over here to copy everything that they're doing in Europe. So in Europe, they live in prosperity. They live in prosperity. But they have the administration over here lock in low standards of living, low wages, export all of the work, all of the factory stuff all over the globe. They did this on purpose. And them church folks in the Bible Belt who call themselves evangelical, who call themselves people of God, who watch Fox News, they was the brothers and sisters that we came to the United States of America and we implemented an underground railroad to get free, to get the knowledge of God to them. So, after 2,000 years of seeing the example of sitting in churches, if y'all don't got the example that we are the sons of God, that the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ looked just like me and sent me and my fathers and my brothers and my sisters to come and get every human being in every color, in every corner of the globe. Paul, apostle to the Gentiles, same thing. Paul was a son of Japheth, who was a son of Noah, who was a triplet with Shem, Ham, and Japheth, all three of them African Nubians. Japheth was the father of the maritime sons, the sons who sailed all over the world. That's why they labeled him Neptune. That's why they labeled him Poseidon in Greek mythology. That's who they worship, Japheth. But Saul was from Tarshish. Paul was from Tarshish. Tarshish is a coastal region. It's the furthest region out on the peninsula of Africa before you go off into the Atlantic and shoot off into wherever. It was a main port. When Jonah was sent to go to Nineveh, he bought a ticket to go to Tarshish instead. African Nubians, just like the Phoenicians. African Nubians, sons of Japheth. They whitewashed all of history so y'all would not know. When I say y'all, I'm talking about y'all African Americans. So y'all wouldn't know that God has been using you to redeem humanity from the beginning. And then these cats teach that God said you cannot be unequally yoked. God told that to the Jews and the Gentiles. But obviously he didn't tell that to Adam and Eve, because Cain would not have had a wife. How about that? How could Cain have a wife if God told his children not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers? They teaching y'all the word of God and they don't know the word of God. He has two separate covenants, two separate walks. I've been telling y'all, the walk of dominion is a perfect walk. His perfect children, the men of renown, the men of old, the sons of God. And they were told to go and marry and intermarry with Cain and Cain's sons. First, Eve's daughters were sent to marry Cain's sons. Cain's children in Genesis 4 went for like 6 generations and never had a daughter. And every last one of them sons had to come back to Adam and Eve and get a wife. Be renowned or be drowned. Be renowned, because if you're not renowned, then you're a detour. You're a son of Cain and you leading children astray. And God said, if you lead one of my little children astray, it would be better for you if a millstone was tied around your neck and you was thrown into the depths of the sea. And in Revelation 18, he sent the angel out to throw all of those who leading children astray in the depths of the sea. And it's that day right now. Be renowned or be drowned. You can't do what I do. I'm renowned. That's right. The Jew couldn't intermarry because the Jew ain't had the spirit of the Most High God. That's what the difference was. Eve's daughter had the spirit of the Most High God in her. So Eve's daughter was allowed to go and marry Cain to redeem the child that was going to be born. So when the daddy went to wander, when Cain went to wander, that child could be reared in the fear and the admonition of the Lord and be trained to walk in the way. The story of dominion. And 6 generations of Eve's daughters went and did that. And in Genesis it says, and during this time they followed the Lord. So when God gave his promise to Eve that he would put enmity between her seed and Cain's seed, he kept his promise as long as she was alive. Adam died at 930. Eve probably died at age 932. So for 900 years, it was a perfect separation between Cain wandering and Adam and Eve's children going and redeeming the children that his sons had. And even those sons worshiped God. That's what the words say. Until Lamech was born. Lamech was probably born after Adam and Eve died, and that's when everything turned, because then it says, Noah, you are perfect in your generation. Adam and Eve had already died. Noah was born 56 years after Adam. He was born in 986. I say ITBAC. In the beginning after creation. He was born 986 ITBAC. They do that BC and AD so you don't know the real mathematics, because they believe in evolution, so they try and confuse you. It's ITBAC, in the beginning after creation. And God said to Adam and Eve, I will always have a remnant of your seed, always, who are perfect. So y'all better throw mama from the train and come grab this life preserver and let me pull you back in and give you the mouth to mouth And I'm gonna prove it to you, right? Prove it to you. So Paul said he was sent to take the gospel to the Jew first and then to the Gentile, right? That's what Paul said. Paul said, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, because it is the power of God that brings salvation to everyone who believes. First to the Jew, then to the Gentile." He ain't say nothing about the African, right? He ain't say nothing about the African. First to the Jew, then to the Gentile. Never once said nothing about the African. Right? Why? Because they was the root. Adam and Eve's African sons and daughters was the root. And God was ministering to them the whole time. What do you think the Samaritans are? When he went to the woman at the well in Samaria, the woman who was on her fifth husband, if you listen to the dialogue, number one, the Samaritans was Africans. That mixed multitude that left Egypt with the children of Israel, the African Egyptians, the Nubian African Egyptians, not the Cleopatra Hollywood whitewashed fairy tale make-believe, want you to think that African Egypt is European. Nah. She said, our father Jacob dug this well. African Nubian, and Jacob was her father. Abraham, and then was a father. You know how that happened? Abraham's third wife was an African Nubian named Keturah. Y'all know nothing about the word of God. Y'all know nothing. They done lied to y'all. Abraham's third wife, once he got grafted back in, once he was Abraham, he was transformed into Ham. And then the children that he had with her, they didn't need to be circumcised because she was already a daughter of God, walking perfect and righteous in the Canaan land. He found her in the Canaan. After Sarah died, he married Keturah. That's where the Medes came from. The Medes who ran into Babylon and destroyed Babylon. Darius and Cyrus, the kings of the Medes. That's our people. Our righteous people. And the Samaritans knew who their daddy was. They knew the lineage. They knew all of that. All the way back to Adam and Eve. Because Keturah's people have been walking and talking with God since. All the way through Ham. All the way through Havilah, son of Cush. I'm going to have to teach y'all your clan ancestry. Every nation, kindred is your clan. Wu-Tang told you Wu-Tang clan. You got a clan ancestry that dates all the way. Even the Gentiles, I could show you your clan ancestry all the way back to Noah. Every last one of y'all, every last person on earth is supposed to be claiming the covenant of Adam and Eve. That's what I'm telling y'all. They got you separated with race, separated with these culture and this paganism over here, this and that. Ain't none of that your original relationship with God. None of it. All of your relationships go back to your clan ancestry, all the way back to ITB in the beginning with Adam and Eve. So throw mama from the train, get off that slumdog train, and I'm going to take you back to your homeland, which is Havilah. Go from a slum dogs to havillionaires. Let's go. Right now, we're going to show Trump and show Pence that we shutting down and destroying their railroad. The underground, the African Underground Railroad that Harriet Tubman was on, it was spirit-led. I'm going to show that to you too.